On April 24, 2025, President Trump signed an executive order. This order prioritized the fast tracking of deep-sea mining applications. The Trump administration argued that this move would stimulate economic growth within the United States. They believed it was key to revitalizing American industry. The administration also cited the need to bolster national security. This executive order set in motion a process. The Department of Commerce and the Department of Interior were tasked with creating an expedited approval process for seabed mining permits. They were given 60 days to accomplish this goal. The order specifically highlighted the importance of securing critical minerals. Minerals like cobalt, manganese, and nickel are found on the ocean floor. These minerals are essential for the production of batteries and other technologies. The Trump administration argued that deep-sea mining was vital for national security. This argument mirrored the language used in a previous executive order. That order opened the Pacific Islands Heritage Marine National Monument to commercial fishing. Both orders reflected a disregard for delicate ecosystems. The potential for environmental damage was sidelined in favor of short-term economic and political gains. The push for deep-sea mining was part of a larger strategy. The United States government aimed to secure a domestic supply chain for critical minerals. Over-reliance on other countries for these resources was seen as a vulnerability. China, in particular, has emerged as a dominant player in the global market for critical minerals. The Trump administration sought to challenge China's dominance. Deep-sea mining was positioned as a way to achieve this. By extracting these minerals domestically, the United States could reduce its dependence on foreign suppliers. This, in turn, would strengthen the country's negotiating position on the global stage. The executive order faced immediate opposition. Indigenous groups, in particular, voiced their concerns. They argued that deep-sea mining posed a significant threat to their ancestral waters. Environmental groups also condemned the move. They warned of the potential for irreversible damage to fragile deep-sea ecosystems. The executive order, they argued, prioritized short-term economic gains over the long-term health of the planet. Despite the controversy, companies moved quickly to take advantage of the new policy. The Metals Company, a Canadian firm, announced plans to apply for a permit to mine in international waters. They plan to utilize the 1980 Deep Seabed Hard Mineral Resources Act, which allows U.S. companies to operate in international waters under certain conditions. Another company, Impossible Metals, applied to the Bureau of Ocean Energy Management to lease seabed near American Samoa. They plan to operate under the 1953 Outer Continental Shelf Lands Act. Both companies had grown frustrated with the slow pace of progress at the International Seabed Authority, or ISA. The ISA, established under the United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea, is responsible for regulating deep-sea mining in international waters. The agency has been slow to finalize regulations for the industry, much to the frustration of companies eager to begin mining. The Trump administration's executive order, then, was seen as a way to circumvent the ISA and establish the United States as the rule setter for this new frontier of extraction. The executive order was met with a mixed response internationally. Some countries, eager to develop their own deep-sea mining industries, applauded the move. Others, however, expressed concern about the potential environmental impact and the lack of international consensus on regulations. The European Union, for instance, called for a moratorium on deep-sea mining until more research could be conducted on its potential consequences. The Trump administration's executive order on deep-sea mining was a pivotal moment. It signaled a willingness to prioritize short-term economic and political gains over the long-term health of the planet. The order also exposed the limitations of international governance mechanisms in the face of powerful economic interests. The environmental consequences of deep-sea mining remain largely unknown. Scientists have warned that it could have devastating impacts on fragile deep-sea ecosystems. These ecosystems are home to a wealth of biodiversity, much of which remains undiscovered. The extraction of minerals from the ocean floor could also release plumes of sediment and toxins into the water column, potentially harming marine life and disrupting food chains. The future of deep-sea mining remains uncertain. The ISA is continuing to develop regulations for the industry, but it is unclear when these will be finalized. The outcome of these negotiations will have profound implications for the future of the ocean and the planet. The deep sea, long considered a remote and pristine environment, is now on the brink of exploitation. The choices we make in the coming years will determine whether we protect this valuable ecosystem or sacrifice it for short-term gain.